And now we are at Rainbow Island. This place was founded at the end of December, and it was near Ravendel and was majority my place. And it lasted a bit longer than Ravendel, I think till April or May 2012. And then I decided to go to 1M finally. And this place was founded because of map corruption that happened in 2B2T. And what happened was that an update corrupted the seed of 2B2T, and 2B2T had for 2 or 3 days another seed than before, than the original seed. And when I came back from spawn and went through this ocean on a boat to go back to Ravendel, I found in the middle of the ocean hundreds of animals, hundreds of cows and pigs and chickens. And I decided that I wanted to have all these animals and brought them to this island, to the smaller island here. I contacted Housemaster, and he came to this island and looked at all this and how this ocean biome became a plain biome because of the seed corruption. And he changed the 2B2D map back to the original seed that is still working until today. And yeah.
So basically, I just wanted to explain it a bit more. What the seed did was the world was generated before the seed changed, and then when the seed changed, the server thought that instead of an ocean biome that was previously generated here, it was a plains biome, and that's why a lot of animals spawned, right?
Yeah. And this happened with other updates several times. And as you can see, when Housemaster changed the seed back, it started to snow here in this ocean. And parts of this ocean over there, you can see it behind the house, suddenly froze over. So it thought that around this place behind here, that this suddenly turned into a snow biome or ice biome or something. And that's why you can see snow in deserts today, or you can see savanna biomes in normal forests and stuff.
I just thought that that was normal in any desert generated in the old chunks.
Yeah. And the first house I built here was made entirely out of wood until it burned down when some lightning struck here. And then I made it out of clay brick, which was an expensive item back then. After Ravendel got destroyed, I got another basement who built another house here, who was, I think, a friend of Electrov or JDW, who goes by the name of KFK. And after Rainbow Island got destroyed, he wanted to move to 1 million too, but never went there. And
Do you know why he never went there?
I think because it was way too long to go there, by the casual way of going through a small tunnel until you would hit 125k. For some people it took hours, for some people it took days, and for some people it was simply too much. And over here this small building was Shogun's building, who I rescued out of spawn and stayed on the server for a long time. He later became a basement of Bernilion, and he later would go to a mushroom island that was 2k away from this place and would make a bigger place for himself, a bigger farm, and more room for himself. And the next building, this huge ugly thing I built here, was made out of lava and water entirely. I was several times at spawn and I thought to myself that all these lava monsters and cobble monsters, they look like some kind of building, some kind of apocalyptic building, and I wanted to see if I can make a good building out of several lava buckets and one water bucket. and it wasn't really good. It wasn't really a good outcome. And because of the reels here, I called this thing the wasp nest or the wasp nest tower. And the top of it is here where the burning netherrack is. It was the old altitude limit at 100 epsilon 145 before it was changed with the new update to epsilon 255 now. And over here you can see a platform with an obsidian tower. This was the place where I had my enchantment table and my brewing stand. And over here was a small biodome with some mushroom tent, some chickens inside and some wood. And as you can see, this place got wrecked bad by pop-up. One time he came here, he just blew up some TNT and I thought to myself, who cares? I don't really care. So I just put some glass blocks where he made the TNT holes and just stayed here for the next 2-3 months until he came back very angry and raged a long time here while I was on vacation for 2 weeks. And I knew he was coming and I took most of the valuable stuff out already, most of the gold blocks and most of the clay bricks, most of the stuff that I wanted to bring with me when I went to 1M. As you can see, it took hours for him to destroy this place, or at least to lava cast this place, because as you can see, if you remove the lava cast, that the buildings are basically, or at least a little bit untouched. And if you just remove the lava cast from here, you would see how the original buildings would look like again. And he left a lot of bedrock. He had an infi bedrock block that he would use at every base he would grieve. And as you can see over here, I have to show you this. The name Rainbow Island is because of this large rainbow street that I made entirely out of wool blocks. I had a giant source of wool blocks here because I had 2 mob grinders. One was double spider grinder and the other one was a spider grinder combined with a zombie grinder. And every 2 or 3 hours I had a double chest full of spider string, and then I would turn it all into wool blocks, and it became one of the major building blocks here. Neda, can you come over here?
Yeah, I lost you. Where are you? Where did you go from the cop monster?
From the cobweb?
From the cobble monsters.
He's still kind of at the base of the cobble monster.
No, I'm staying over here at Willy Roof's place. Hope you can come.
Yeah.
This was an artificial island that was only for wood farming. And I had so much wool because of my mob grinders that I built entire buildings out of wool at some point. And this Rainbow Island extended at least for 200 blocks, I think. And you can see it later on the repaired map. I think this was because we talked a lot about weed and acid on 2B2T, so I made this Rainbow Island here. And
Classic 2BTT.
yeah, it was typical back then. over here you can see the pop-up cross made out of bedrock. 24th April 2012 was the time when he destroyed Rainbow Island. And some other people came by. Interesting. And I think I know Rosa 101 back in 2013. I think he only played 1 month here. And over here this tower out of white blocks, out of white wool blocks, was called Housemaster's Cocaine Line. Because back then there was the rumor that Housemaster would use a lot of donations for himself to buy big amounts of Colombian marching powder, and he later took up this rumor and made some message of the days for the server, like hookers and blow and be right back buying cocaine and stuff from donation money. And this was some kind of inside gag. And you can see in the repaired variant that this tower had some gold blocks outside, which I later disassembled, so I could take them to New Am with me. It wasn't really so necessary for me back then to make god apples out of gold blocks. And over here is the observatory. And this was the place where I had my biggest mob grinder in the basement. And because I was obsessed with building at this time, I built this huge thing out of brick, stone, and on the top on glass blocks. But you can see how it will look like in the repaired version.
Whoa, the floor looks very interesting.
Yeah, back then it was very popular to use stairs to make a zigzag floor. And then Mojang added the curved stairs, and so it turned out into these small knobs. But back then everyone wanted to use either wool blocks for floor decoration, or they would use stair blocks to create some zigzag pattern. And well, there's not that much to see about here, except for this giant lava cast everywhere.
Hmm.
And the last thing I wanted to show you here before we go on the private server to visit to map how Rainbow Island looked like back in 2012. I have to show you where I hid my original bed in the space, because I set up so many beds, so many fake beds, in case someone would come here, that I had to about 8 beds in the space to confuse people. And at the end of this ice block base here, there was a very tiny chunk error. I hope I can find it again.
I'm not sure where you went.
I am behind the observatory now, where the ice starts. And I can't find it anymore because the 2v2D render distance is not very helpful here. So let's go to the other side. I hope we can meet again. Because for the video I take off my tracers.
Me too.
Wait, I'm gonna...
Netta, stop
Yeah?
moving and come back towards the cobble monster Offtopia's
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, you should
I
be coming
see.
into
Yeah,
view
okay.
range.
Okay. Get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna show 2 or 3 small things before we go to the private map. Because as I said, there's not really much to show here. It's just a giant cobble monster. And when I saw it, when I came back from vacation, I logged in here with my inventory full of stuff. I had to laugh about it because it was so absurd. And I said to Judge, I said to him, pop-up turned my base into spawn 2.1, 2.0. And this was another place where I had a fake bed. And over here this was a simple nether brick watchtower, which didn't really have any purpose, just to watch over this melon farm.
Because melon farms are so important.
No, it was just for fun. It was just for looking over the ocean and waiting till someone came by, maybe on a boat or something.
Mhm.
And this was the last thing I built here. It was planned to have some small underwater base here with some glass, with some tunnels that would connect each other. And there was a railway system that would go this way to a gate building. And at that time, I didn't really have any plans left because I knew I would get some visit in the next days, so I stopped really building here. And I just found a golem that I made in 2012 down there, because golems had the tendency to walk into the ocean, so they would turn totally useless for me. I think I had about 10 or 12 golems in the space, and most of them went right into the ocean and spent them time walking on the ocean floor.
Did they not drown? Never
No,
knew they
no,
didn't drown.
they're golems, they don't need air.
Huh. That's
Uh,
interesting.
and that's all that I can say about Rainbow Island on the 2b2 server.